camera. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Will Turby for Demand the Truth. I'm here at a place that I've been a few times before, and obviously, as you guys know, there's a huge controversy about Charlottesville, the statues that are getting taken down across the nation, and that's obviously a huge area of contention. And this is something that people, even before Charlottesville happened, have been talking about for a very long time, the place of statues. And there's some people that argue that we shouldn't take down certain people so we don't forget things that happened like slavery. And then there's some people that say, oh, if you take those down, you have to take all of them. Me personally, I think, why should there be Confederate statues when they're losers? Because these people lost the war and they're a bunch of losers. I've been down in Virginia and DC. I've seen some, more so in Virginia, some Confederate flags and apparel and the like all over the place. And I don't know why you would represent losers. Some people, they claim it's part of their heritage or whatever, but that's still very, even if it's not, which it is, very incredibly insensitive to African Americans and slavery, and bringing that all up again, that's a symbol of white supremacy to some. Not only that, you're a loser. Why are you still doing that? I'm not a person that necessarily thinks that we should take down all statues, because then you'd have to take down everything. People that are taking down statues are also ISIS too. I do not think in any way we should glorify anybody whatsoever from the Confederacy. I think maybe we should move these statues or monuments to a museum where they can be discussed and talked about. I think personally it should be up to whatever the town or the city votes, and it's up to those people. And that's how a republic should work. People should be able to vote for what they feel to do. So I'm not a person, even when I first came down here to discuss this, that's either necessarily big pro or against any of this, because I do think we should remember our history, but I also don't think that we should glorify Confederate losers and racist losers, because why would you even wave that flag? It's ridiculous. But if we are going to start I did a video earlier this year in January from this very location, and I said, this is even before Charlottesville and all that stuff. I said, if we are going to start taking some statues down, because people had even wanted to take down halls that say Lynch in it, which is just an Irish last name. And then there's even people that want to take down certain words of Martin Luther King Jr. About judging people by the character, not the color of skin, because it doesn't look out for transgender people, and it doesn't include transgender people. So that was hateful to them. So it's a very slippery slope wherever you draw that line. Like I said, I am about remembering history, but not about glorifying Confederates or losers. But I'm going to take you on a tour of a statue. I said, if we are going to start taking statues down, this is the one that we should start taking down immediately. Now, this statue over here I'm going to walk you to is a guy named Albert Pike. Albert Pike was not just a Confederate general, but he also wrote the 33 degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Now, Scottish Rite Freemasonry, like York Rite Freemasonry, is still segregated to this day. They don't allow the Prince Hall Masons to meet with them or travel into their other things. So Masonry itself, which Albert Pike created the 33 different degrees of, and if you take a look, that's Albert Pike here, Confederate general. There's even literature saying that he was involved in the creation of the KKK. He was openly a racist, and he created the 33rd degree of Masonry, all the different degrees. We're going to go to the House of the Temple, where he was buried. In 1940, the Freemasons dug up his body and had it reburied in the Masonic Temple, the Mother Temple here in Washington, D.C. We're going to take a look at it. And if you look closely at this flag that this woman is holding, that is the logo of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the 33rd degree. And you'll see the double-headed eagle there. And the double-headed eagle is interesting. I'm no symbologist, but I am interested in symbols. And if you take a look at the double-headed eagle, it's seeing things and controlling things on both sides. You see the triangle there with the 33 representing the 33 different degrees of Freemasonry, but among other things, 33 is a very highly significant number in the occult. They believe a lot of things about the number 33. We're going to go to the Masonic Temple, like I said, where Albert Pike is buried very soon. And outside of that temple, you will see 33 foot tall stone columns, and also the number 13 is very prevalent to them. But like I said, he was a Confederate war general, a loser, a racist, and he is born north of the Mason-Dixon line here in Washington, D.C. Not only that, he was potentially involved in the creation of the Ku Klux Klan and is the creator of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Like I said, Masonry to this day is still segregated. People act like they're open and they're brothers, but they don't let their black brothers meet with the rest of their white brothers. So it's very unfortunate. I'm going to take you around this statue so you can see Albert Pike here and what he's representing. Now, I came down here in January before the statue controversy. Just recently, I guess they had a protest August the 15th to try to bring this statue down. And if we're going to bring any statue down, this should be the main one, because not only did this guy openly write about how he despised African Americans and thought that they were subhuman, he openly wrote about in his book Morals and Dogmas about Masonry, and Masonry brings the light. And you can see right here, erected in 1901 by the Supreme Council of Freemasonry for the USA, and he says he was a philanthropist and a philosopher. But Masonry, the idea of Masonry says it brings the light to people. Masonry brings the light. And what is the light? It's the same light and the same torch that they have at the Statue of Liberty. And that light that they want to bring is defined by the creator of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, all the different degrees. He defines light in his book, Morals and Dogmas, as some say is Lucifer the light bearer. Doubt it not. So he says Masonry brings you light, and Lucifer is the light bearer. This guy is a Confederate general. He's parked right smack next to the courthouse here in D.C. If you take a look, that's the courthouse where people are supposed to receive justice, and right next door you have a racist Confederate Freemason who praises Lucifer. What the hell is going on here? This is ridiculous, people. I'm over here in Washington, D.C., corner of 3 and D Streets, and this is just despicable. We need to do something about this. But very soon I'm going to be going live again. I'm also going to be going live on Periscope, and we're going to be going to the House Mother Temple, the Temple of the 33rd degree of Scottish Rite, which was created by this racist Confederate general right here, Albert Pike. We're going to go see where he's buried, and we're going to try to learn some occult secrets, maybe try to get into the library and see the symbolism, and maybe sneak around the Hall of the Freemasons. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys call the congressman down in DC, call your local officials and say, hey, while you're taking some statues down, why don't you take down this dude first and foremost? This man is an enemy of America, an enemy of white people, an enemy of black people, an enemy of free people everywhere. So Albert Pike, Freemason. And lastly, just observe the double-headed eagle, because you will see that in some symbology in DC later as I show you guys a few other things. So stay tuned, and we're going to be going live from the House of the Temple very soon. Thank you guys very much.